I've been a manager for 7 years. When am I going to be ready to become a director? I'm capable of managing my team successfully, so why haven't I been promoted to director level? These are the questions that I get all the time from my clients. Generally in a corporation, the progression into a director level looks like, you start out as an individual contributor and then you're promoted to a manager. And even within that manager, there's junior manager, mid-level manager, senior level manager. And after that, you finally become a director. And then from the director, you become a vice president and then the C-level. And that's generally how things work. You see, most of the times what we think about when it comes to being promoted from individual contributor to manager are the exact opposite of the things that you need to be successful when it comes to take you from manager to director level. So that's why in this video, I want to share with you some of the key strategies that I share with my clients when it comes to being competitive and positioning yourself from director level even before you have the official title. I'm Jay Timms. I'm an organizational psychologist with legendary leaders and a former executive in Fortune 500 companies. I've helped hundreds of managers overcome this problem. So today I'm going to share with you the 4 principles that managers have used to get the attention of executives like me, which have helped these managers to go from manager to a director in record time. Just comment, "I'm ready," or put a thumbs up in the comments so I know that this is something that you're looking forward to learning. Let's be honest with each other. Executives are not going to give you the role of director just because you want it or you think you deserve it. Everyone thinks that they deserve it. Everyone around you thinks that they deserve it more than you. So you need to stand out. The biggest mistake that managers make is that they figured that if they put in the time, spend those extra hours at work, they get the numbers, that's what it takes to get promoted. Yes and no. Stats are important, but executives want more than just numbers. There are 4 things that managers did to get my attention and make me want to promote them to director. The first thing that they did was they never came to me with just a problem. They always came with a solution. Do you know somebody who always complains, no matter where they're at, no matter what they're doing, they always find something wrong? We talk about, a family member of mine, if there's a blue sky, they will find the one cloud in it. On SNL years ago, there was a skit, and it was this recurring skit of Doug and Wendy Weiner, and they would go into these different situations and their whole demeanor was about whining about certain things. It was funny and it was a repeatable skit because these people are real. I mean, yes, your job as a leader is to find the issues, but directors aren't just problem spotters. They're problem solvers. So you need to shift your mindset a little bit. You need to get into the habit of not just spotting problems, but coming up with the solutions. My dad has always said that there are 3 solutions to every single problem that you come across. And if you can't find 3, you're not looking hard enough. So I want you to try this. Instead of coming to your boss or your leader and saying something along the lines of, "We're behind schedule," try something like this. "We're behind on schedule, but here are 3 ways that we can make up the time without compromising the quality." Now, in that one little phrase, we did a couple of things here. First of all, we identified the problem. Second of all, what we did was we also identified the solution. But the thing that really has the biggest impact is that we also identified what the executive would be worried about. That whole thing about compromising on quality, that's a massive problem. And when you talk about shifting things and trying to come up with solutions, you always want to find something that the executive will probably be worried about and put that into that sentence. Now, what does this do for the executive? I have to tell you, I have sat in that chair many times, so I can tell you exactly what it does. When somebody comes into my office and says, "Hey, there's a problem," the first thing that happens is a thought goes, "Oh crap, what now?" However, when they come to me and they have a solution, automatically I relax. It's even better when someone says, "Hey, by the way, here's the 3 solutions. This is one that I chose. I already took care of it." It makes my life so much easier. I want to give you a real life situation here. There was a marketing manager that I used to work with, and we were going through some budget cuts. And marketing budget cuts, that's pretty serious in a big corporation. But the thing about her was that she didn't panic. What she did was she took a look at it and asked the question of, not only what's the problem, but how can I solve this? And she came up with 3 different ways to actually solve this problem that she put into place. First of all, she created a plan to take the current resources that she had and move them around a little bit so that she could actually afford to do the things that she wanted to. The second thing that she did was she figured out how to use technology to reduce the costs. She kind of went outside of what was normal for her and what was normal for her department and looked at what technology can we use to reduce overall costs. And then the third thing that she did was she turned the problem into a contest for her employees. So what she did was she called it the in-the-moment problem solve. And every time that somebody came up with a problem solve or a solution to the problem, they were put into a hat, and at the end, they pulled out some names and had a reward. So not only did she solve the immediate problem, but by doing this, what she did was she showcased her ability to think under pressure. Now look, this just screams director level thinking. So starting today, what I want you to do is I want you to pair every problem that you find with at least 3 solutions. If you can't find 3 solutions, guess what I'm going to say to you? You're not looking hard enough. Strategy number 2, develop your people beyond their roles. Great managers, they get the job done, but exceptional directors build their team to perform beyond expectations. So what's the difference? It's an investment in people. Developing people isn't just a nice thing to do. It's actually a strategic move that can fast track you to a director level quickly. So the question is, all right, how do you develop your team? Well, there's really 4 quick and easy ways that you can start developing your team. First of all is to create a mentorship program within your organization. Pair the newer employees with legacy employees. And that legacy knowledge is such an important thing because the newer employees can go to these mentors without having to go to you as a leader and show that maybe they're not as smart as you hope they are, and they can talk on a level that they can't talk with you. So pair your team members up with new employees, with legacy employees. Another thing that can really help you is creating stretch assignments. What's a stretch assignment? Create an assignment for them or a role or a job that is going to push them past what they're comfortable with. Because you want it to be something that they're going to be successful in, for sure, but stretches them a little bit. Another thing that you can do is encourage them or even support them or even pay for those continuous learning situations. If you have an LMS program in your organization, use it. Get them in there on a regular basis. Get them learning. Get them taking those courses and getting involved with that. Or get them on online courses outside of your LMS. Get them to workshops or even pay for them to get certifications. And another thing that you can do to really, really build that in your employees is do cross-functional collaboration. Get somebody from one department collaborating with another department, because what that does is it really opens up their eyes as to what's going on throughout the organization. I want to tell you a story of a GM in a restaurant. He was really, really struggling with profitability, and he tried everything. According to him, I've tried everything. From incentives to coaxing people to downright demanding that they perform. When I sat down with him, we actually evaluated his training and development programs. And what we recognized really, really quickly is that he was not teaching the right thing at the right time to the right people. It was pretty obvious that his attention was on the business and the numbers, not on the people. 3 months later, after he started, increasing the employee's ability to develop, he saw a massive shift in performance and profitability. And it was kind of like there was a new leader that was standing in front of me. His level of confidence was higher. He could turn around and show me things and was really, really proud of what was going on in his restaurant. So it was not only beneficial for his employees, but it also gave him a new level of confidence too. So remember, if you invest in your people and help them grow, you also position yourself as a leader who can build teams, which is really, really attractive to your executives. Strategy number 3, one-on-one meetings weekly. Now listen, I am not asking you, I am telling you, you need to have one-on-ones with every single direct report every single week. I mean, it blows my mind how many people don't get this. I've been talking about this for 30 years, sitting down, and it just, every time I talk about it, it's like it's this new, oh wow, maybe we should try this. This one thing will do more for your team, for your confidence as a leader, and your company than literally anything else. Now look, I know what you're saying. Jay, I barely have time to breathe. You're asking me to do more meetings? Well, let me be honest with you. The reason you can't breathe right now is because you aren't having these meetings. I know it's going to be tough at first to organize your time and figure out, where do I do this, and how do I what do I move so that I can allow myself to do this? But what I know for absolute certainty is that once you get into the flow, you are going to be calling me to thank me for making you do this. These meetings are going to let you do a few things. First of all, it's going to help you to understand what's going on for your team and remove the barriers. So you actually take the barriers that they're facing and get them out of the way so that they can perform a lot better. The meeting will also help you align individual goals with company goals and values. So you can take the individual's goals and actually pair them with what's going on in the company. And you can create a lot of loyalty and massive, massive levels of engagement by doing this. I know a lot of people throughout the years have come to me and said, Jay, how do I do a good one-on-one? Because there's a lot of misconceptions about one-on-ones out there. People think that a one-on-one is this, I'm going to sit down with you and I'm going to tell you what you need to do wrong, and I'm going to point out, it's like a disciplinary or a tough conversation. That is not a one-on-one. A one-on-one is completely different. So let me share with you, just 4 things that you can do, like kind of bullet points for how do I run a one-on-one. The first 5 minutes of a one-on-one really should be a check-in. It should be an opportunity for you to sit down with them and say, how's stuff going? How's stuff going in your family? How are things going with, your mom? What are you into? It's about them. It has nothing to do with work. It's how are you doing? The next part of a one-on-one is checking in on the progress of the current projects and then looking at the previous goals that you guys have set. So it's, how are things going? We had goals for this past week. How'd you do? What were some of the things that you were able to accomplish? What do we need to carry forward to next week? How's it going? The next section after that is talking about what is standing in the employee's way of actually accomplishing the goals that they have. This is a real awesome place for you to not fix the problems for them, but to work with them to come up with solutions together. That really creates empowerment within your employees and gets them recognizing that they have influence on what's going on. And then once you've done that, all you do now is you set goals for the coming week. All right, great. This is the goals for this week from the past week. Let's set some goals for the next week. I had a manager that I was working with one time, and I have to tell you, she was so reluctant to do these one-on-ones. She called them the kumbaya meetings because she felt like it was this sit-down, touchy-feely kind of, tell me about your problems, how can I serve you? And she totally misunderstood it. When I finally convinced her to do this, it was not easy, but when I finally convinced her to do this consistently and follow those 4 steps, about 3 months later, I said to her, how's it going? And she reluctantly said, I really wish I would have started doing these a lot earlier. Yes, exactly. If you would have done these earlier, things would have been so much better for you. One-on-ones are amazing. And look, they don't have to be like these 1-hour things. They can be, 15 to 20 minutes long. And if you just follow those 4 steps, you're going to get quality every single time. So by prioritizing one-on-ones, you're not only showing your team that you care and building relationships with them, you're showing your executives that you actually know how to develop people effectively. Strategy number 4. Be humble enough to ask for help. I want to tell you about a story. When I was in my early years as a leader, I didn't know what I was doing, frankly. I was frustrated. I felt like I was banging my head against the wall, and I really wasn't serving my team very well. And so I was sitting down with my boss one day, and I just said, look, I need some help here because I really, really can't do this alone. And he made a suggestion to me. He made a suggestion that I leave my region and I actually go down to San Francisco and spend time with some leaders down there who were being really, really successful. So I spent about a week and a half down there with these guys, and I almost lived with them. Like, I was with them every waking hour, asking them questions, watching how they interacted with their teams, and watching what they were focused on. And I have to tell you that, I had to humble myself and not look like the superhero, but the results literally changed my life. I will be eternally grateful for my leader who pointed me in this direction and those leaders who taught me, because they really turned me into the leader and, frankly, the man that I am in front of you today. So it's so important for you to humble yourself and recognize you do not have to have these answers. Let me give you some ways that you can use to get this external help. There's a few things that I did. First of all was find a mentor. Obviously, like I said, when I went down to San Francisco, I sat down with these guys and basically lived with them for a week and a half. Find a mentor or two or three, frankly, and they don't necessarily have to be in your company. They can be outside your company. They can be people that you have met, that you've connected with on LinkedIn, wherever. Find a mentor. Another thing that you can do to get external help is join professional associations. Depending on the industry that you are in, there's going to be associations. And this is just a fantastic place for you to go to these meetings and join these associations and just sit down with your colleagues. Sit down with people who are like you and go, how the heck are you doing this? And there's a lot of classes and a lot of things that you can do. Another thing that you can do is attend a workshop, just like you're doing right now. A lot of these are free, and there's some good information. At least I think there's some good information. There's some good information in these workshops and in these videos. So make sure that you attend these workshops. Another thing that you can do, and that I have done, is to read widely. Now, what do I mean by read widely? What I mean by that is not just within your field. Like, if you are in the field of, accounting, don't just read books on accounting. If you're in leadership, don't just read books on leadership. Read outside of your sphere. Some of the greatest executives in the world read multiple books per month, not per year, per month. And so if they're doing it, chances are you probably should as well. Listen, speaking about books, Legendary Leaders has a book club, and this book club is designed every month. I'm going to put up a book that I have read that has influenced me in some way. And it's an opportunity for everybody to read this book and get together. And at the end of the month, we're going to go through it and we're going to talk about what did you learn? How did it go? This is all done online. It's all done through chat and all of that. And so, it's not a massive time commitment for you, but it gets you reading these books. And, there's giveaways, there's contests, there's all sorts of fun stuff that we do with this. So if you want to learn more about that book club, just comment book club below and I'll send you a message and give you all the details. So, remember, nobody has made it to a director or executive level alone. No matter what they tell you, they have not done it alone. They've all had help. Don't try to be a hero, because you're never going to be able to make it on your own. The managers who I wanted to promote all did the same 4 things. Remember what they are? Number 1, they never ever came to me with just a problem. They always had a solution, or they had solved the problem before they got to me. Second thing is the development of their people was always top of mind. Another thing is that they were doing one-on-ones and they were doing it properly every single week. And finally, they weren't pretending to be perfect. They were trying to become better. Again, guys, this is not theoretical concepts. This actually works and gets the attention of your executives and people like me. Look, you have a choice. You can do things the way that you've always done. You can focus on the wrong things. You can get frustrated because nobody's seeing you. You can just keep going and bashing your head against that wall. Or you can put these 4 strategies in place. You can put your head down and you can do the work, because this stuff is not easy. I promise you it's not easy, but it is worth it. You will naturally step into the role even before it's offered to you. You need to start acting like a director today, and you will become one before you know it. Another thing that you can do to become the best version of leader that you can become is to learn how to deal with burnout. Subconsciously, managers deal with burnout without ever knowing it. You can feel confused and overwhelmed throughout your entire professional journey, and that can stop your growth from manager to director. For long-term success, you need to know how to manage burnout for yourself and your team. I've got a free masterclass in August that deals with just that. Check out the link in the description to sign up for this freebie. After attending the masterclass, you'll walk away with tools and strategies that are going to help you actually look forward to going to work in the morning. And it's going to give you the freedom to have a life outside of work. So don't wait, RSVP in the link below. I really hope that this video was worth it for you. Please hit the subscribe button and share this video with anyone you think that needs it. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to follow me on LinkedIn too. I'll put that link to the profile in the description too. We'll talk to you soon.